I'm really happy to be doing this with you.
Same.
I wouldn't want to do this with anyone else. You're my best friend, you're my partner, and I love that we get to co-create life together.
Yeah, baby, you're so sweet. I feel the same way. I'm
Yeah,
really excited to do this with you.
it's a long time coming.
Yeah.
I took a very long break from YouTube. I'm
Yeah.
talking like 3, 4 years. So it just feels like the right time.
Yeah. Well, so why does it feel like the right time?
I feel like I had a lot of trauma that I had to work through. I still do. But I feel like I didn't really like the version of me that I was before. I think that the messages that I was sharing were on the nose. I just think that the way that I delivered them in the past was a little too fiery, a little too reactive. And looking back at those videos, I love that. I love me. I mean, I've been through a lot in my life, but I just feel like I'm in a new place. I feel a lot softer. I've been through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I'm not trying as hard. I think sometimes we fall into the trap of thinking that you have to play the game to get views or to gain popularity or visibility. And I've changed a lot. I'm just a lot more at peace with myself. I feel a lot more sunken in to my body,
Yeah.
and I'm not expending as much energy as I used to. So I feel like I'm in a good place.
Yeah. I love that for you. I love that for you, and I love that for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's also thanks to you because you've changed my life. You've healed me. You've given me grace when a lot of people wouldn't. And I think I needed that. I think a lot of us need that. Sometimes we get really angry or we get really upset, but it's because our feelings aren't really being acknowledged. And so we keep getting more upset and the volume turns up even more.
Right.
And that usually doesn't really fix anything. In fact, it usually just causes us to spiral and it exacerbates how we're feeling. It's kind of like fanning the flames.
Yeah.
And I feel like you being in my life, you've given me permission to be myself. And that's healed me tremendously. So I'm really, really grateful to you.
Thank you, baby. Yeah. I received that. Thank you.
So we get to do unfiltered today.
Yeah. So with the live events, unfiltered, and this,
Uh-huh.
what does unfiltered mean to you?
It means so many things, which is why I love the title. I love that it has my name in it too.
Truth be told.
But it's also like remove the filters. When I do my live events, I tell people don't curate your questions, just show up as you. Remove the masks, remove the filters. So with regard to people, is I want people to feel like they can be themselves here or at my live events. And then with myself, it's also in a way getting out of my own way to receive the messages I need to receive, but also to share them in a very honest and direct way. I will say, little pat on the back, I've never held back with the messages that I share. I feel like I'm not someone who wants to give you a preview and then sell you something.
Mhm.
So I think for me, it's about not holding back as well and giving in its fullness, giving the message that I might be receiving that day or for that week or for that month.
Right. And even if it might be hard for them,
Yeah.
right? Or it might be a lot, they're coming to you for a reason,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not going to sugarcoat it. You're going to express it or relay it in the kindest, most compassionate way possible. However, they also need to know.
Yeah. It's important for me to just to uphold the integrity of my work, to not separate myself from people, but in a way not get too emotionally entangled so that I can clearly see what's going on with the person.
Mhm.
And yes, I do have a tendency to not sugarcoat. I want to look out for people. And I think we're living in a world right now where people are people pleasing a lot and they're afraid to hurt their friends' feelings and all of these things. But we need to bring back that realness and that honesty. So even though I've learned how to tactfully and compassionately share my message, there are times where someone is really resisting what I have to share. And I'm like, you're not going to wiggle out of this one
Right.
because I'm really trying to help you. Because I know that if you keep perpetuating that behavior or that habit, that pattern, you're only hurting yourself because you're not allowing love into your heart. You're not opening yourself up to what you really want. And so by resisting me, you're focusing on what you don't want,
Hmm.
and I'm trying to get you what you want.
Right.
But in order to arrive at that destination, you have to be open.
Right.
You have to lean in, just like I had to lean into you. I had to give myself over and decide that you're my person and I choose you every day. So I'm not going to resist love when it's staring me squarely in the face.
Hmm.
I'm going to give myself over to it, just like I'm going to give myself over to everything that I ultimately want for my life. And I think that's one of the things that people need to really start learning is that if you want something, you have to go for it. Like,
Hmm.
there's a time to go for it, but you do have to go for it, or at least prepare your heart to receive it.
Hmm.
And if you're getting in your own way and you're fighting your situation, you're fighting your relationship, you're fighting your life, you're missing all the lessons because you think you know and you don't know. So try to keep an open mind.
Yeah. Yeah. So does this lead you to having any message for this
Yeah.
week, this month?
Yeah. So I actually have 2 or 3 messages for this month. And I also want people to know this is really important that even if you stumble on this video in a couple years from now, but you felt a draw, you felt the pull to watch it, it's for you.
Hmm.
There is no time. I mean, so there is a theme of the month, but also if you land on this video, just trust that it's for you, or that just like a fortune cookie, there's a message in it for you.
Right. Yeah. I never subscribe to this is only relevant for this week. No, if I stumble on something 2 years from now, there is a reason I stumbled on it. There are no coincidences.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that it's relevant no matter when they see this.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start with the first message. Is especially this month, there's a lot of comparing. So you have to stop comparing yourself to other people and what they're doing. Maybe you're a writer and you're always comparing yourself to other people's success. Maybe they have a best-selling book, or maybe they have a top charting podcast. Whatever the case, we really have to work on not comparing ourselves. Because when you compare yourself to other people, it can even be that you want to be married and your friends are getting married left, right, and center.
Hmm.
And it's causing you to doubt yourself. It's causing you to feel like you're doing something wrong. So it's applicable to so many things.
Yeah.
It can be money. You're not where you want to be yet. And you keep seeing your friends go on vacations and it makes you feel like complete crap. So you're always comparing yourself. I think it's okay to compare as long as you're feeling inspired.
Hmm.
Like that person's success is sparking inspiration and motivation in you.
Right.
But if it starts to tip over into more of the jealousy and the envy, then you've got to check yourself
Right.
because that's only going to hurt you. And as you know, it snowballs.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in that. Like if you're saying, this person is doing, kind of the thing that I want to do, I like the way they're going about it, so I'm going to, use what's working, right? Just in general, is focus more on what is working and less so on what's not working. So I think that comparison or doing a similar thing is great. It's motivating. But if it's where you're beating yourself up, that's not going to help you. There's some kind of saying about when you compare, it's like killing creativity. It's
mm,
something to that effect where yeah, you're just killing your creativity when you are comparing yourself and beating yourself up at the same time.
yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So, try not to compare yourself because if you do and you go down a rabbit hole, you go to a really dark place, it'll feel like you're grasping at straws. Like, oh, I need to find the next career. I need to make more money. Why isn't this thing happening yet? Why isn't this person committing to me yet? So you're grasping at straws, but deep down, you know you're doing that and you know it's hurting you.
Hmm.
So I think it's important to recognize when you are spiraling and you're grasping at straws and put a stop to it.
Yeah.
Because I know for me, from my own personal experience, even this past month, I felt very lost. You know that I've been struggling inside. The best thing I can equate it to is like, is this a midlife crisis? I'm not going to go out and buy a Ford Mustang, but or a Ferrari, whatever. I can't afford that, but whatever. I'm not going to go do that. But it feels like almost like a midlife crisis where I know I have so much love to give and I have a really important message to share. But sometimes I look at how other people are so much further along than I am. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I know that I can make a difference in this world, but for whatever reason, it's not really happening right now. And so it's making peace with that and coming to terms with the fact that I can only control what I can control today. And it's all about how I respond to my day and how I respond to the situations that are being presented to me.
Yeah.
And if I'm doubting myself and if I'm feeling lost and I start to complain about it, and I've done that with you a little bit, like, why isn't this happening for me? And I complain about, usually my day never gets better.
Right.
It never gets better.
Yeah.
It only gets worse. So either completely tire yourself out and give up and let go once you're tired, or stop doing it because you're only going to spiral.
Right. Well, one of the things that you mentioned, I feel like is the clincher, is the control, is you're not understanding that everything happens in perfect time. The reason it's not happening right now is it's not meant to, right? So it's a mixture of um, letting go of the control, stop trying to control, and also trusting the process.
Yeah. I'm really glad that you brought up trusting the process because those three words are so important right now. They're so relevant to what so many of us are going through. Because if you think about when you're trying to control the situation or you're trying to force fit something when it's not quite time, it's really coming down to you not trusting yourself and also trusting that the universe has a plan for you. So, in moments where I feel like I'm out of control, that's when I start grasping at straws. And it's because I have trust issues. So I'm not really leaning into what's truly in store for me. I'm hurting myself because I think that I can make it happen today. And the truth is, I can't. I can't. I can only become a better version of myself. And when I'm not trusting, I'm not that better version of myself. When I'm doubting myself, I'm not that better version of myself. When I get insecure and I start to draw comparisons, I'm not that better version of myself. So I think what we really need to start focusing on is, what is the lesson on an emotional level? Because we get so tied up and caught up in what it looks like physically. What does my bank account look like? Why am I still single? Why is my partner treating me horribly? We get so caught up in the physical, but really it's about the emotional. So when things are not bending in your favor, when you don't get what you want, what is the lesson concealed in that? What do you think the lesson is? Trust more,
You trust more, let go. Yeah.
exercise more patience, take your time, slow it all down, because when you don't slow down, you're no longer in alignment.
I've seen that so many times where it's like you ramp up and you think the harder I work, the faster I work, the louder that it's going to get me there faster.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to get me what I want. And I feel like the opposite is true.
Yeah. Because think about the energy wastage that happens when you are spiraling and when you get neurotic and you get chaotic in your mind. You're just spending a lot of time and energy on something that isn't actually meant to happen now. The thing that you want will happen. So I just want people to know that. Like, you will have everything and more. It's just that you don't get to have it when you want it. It's only going to start happening for you and unblocking for you when you relinquish that control, when you start to trust more, when you slow it all down. That's when you can really align yourself with your destiny and with what's in store for you. But when you're desperately trying to get somewhere, think of that energy. Like you're going to carry an energy of desperation when you finally get what you want. Is that the way you want it to play out? Or do you want to be self-assured and relaxed when it finally happens for you? So I think a lot of times things are not happening for us because we need to learn that we're not in control of when the outcome occurs. We're only in control of how we respond to the inevitable outcome that will occur.
Yeah.
How are we responding throughout that journey? Are we kicking and screaming? Are we digging our heels in thinking that we're right? Because most of the time when we suffer is because we think we have the answer and we don't.
That is so true. So true.
We think we know, we think we have the answer, but it's actually not time yet. So if you can just pay attention to the lessons that are being imparted to you throughout the journey of getting there, rather than getting so hung up on the destination.
Yeah.
And you've heard that saying a million times. It's about the journey, not about the destination.
That's right. That's right.
So it's like, what does that really mean? What do you think it means? It's about the journey, not about the destination.
If you trust that it's going to happen and you give up that control, you can enjoy the process of getting there because you trust you will get there.
Yeah. Or not enjoy it and be okay with that. Not enjoy it and start observing how your mind takes you on this catastrophic journey.
Yeah.
Where you catastrophize and you futurize and now you're getting in your own head all the time. So it's like, I think it's just a matter of being present with the journey because that's what's shaping your character. That's what's teaching you what you're going to need when you finally arrive at that destination. That's what's really building your character. So rather than fighting the fact that you're not there yet, what is the universe trying to give you as an additional tool so that when you finally get there, you're in control of your emotions? Think about that. Like, we spiral because we're not in control of our emotions. So what if it's all about you beginning to master how you feel by not trying to control it? When you're trying to control it, how do you feel? You feel horrible.
Yeah.
So what is that telling you?
Right.
You're going in the wrong direction. You're too focused on the destination rather than on the journey.
It's reminding me of that statement, things don't have to look the way you want them to look. It's still going to work out, as I said before, if you trust it. It's just every step of the way does not have to look the way you think it needs to look. And if you do, my question would be, how's that working out for you?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
It really is. I think also of it in terms of, if you can't love yourself throughout the journey, how are you going to love others when you get there? How are you going to treat others with respect and compassion when you finally get there? If you can't treat yourself that way right now, why would it be handed to you? You're not being responsible with what you ultimately want.
Oh, I love that.
So you eventually want to be in a really healthy relationship. Where are you not being healthy now? If you're constantly beating yourself up, are you healthy? No, you're toxic. If you want to have a really successful business, how are you going to treat your employees? Pay attention to how you treat your friends or family when you're getting impatient or when you want to get something done now. I've been there a million times. My God, I'm so fiery sometimes. My passion works against me sometimes. But it's a matter of like, try to keep that tiger in the cage. Ask yourself, are you knee-jerking into that negative reaction? Well, yes. How can you bring more awareness to it? How can you take that additional beat or that additional pause and say, who do I want to be in the future? How do I want to treat myself and others in the future? Am I doing that now?
Yeah.
And if the answer is a clear no, then how do you need to align your life now to who you see yourself becoming and how you hope to feel in that future version of your life?
Mm-hmm.
So start to eliminate the behaviors or to correct the behaviors that are going to work against you in the future. Because for all you know, the universe is trying to prevent you from getting canceled in the future.
Right.
Like, if you don't fix this behavior now, you might get canceled in the future. And maybe when that happens, you'll have wished that you had more time to correct your behavior or to give yourself more love.
Mm-hmm.
So I really believe that our future self, our future is always working with us now. So we have to start to get clear on, where am I hurting myself? Where am I not being kind to myself or others? And do better. I think it's really about doing better.
Yeah.
It's funny, you and I last night were talking about how in times like these, it's so easy to complain. Complaining usually means that you have a lot to give and you're not finding your way. You don't know how you're going to do it. You don't have an outlet for the amount of love that you have. So let's try to destigmatize complaining. Let's not make it a bad thing. Is it going to help you? No. But there's a reason as to why you do it. You do it because you know you're destined for more.
Mm-hmm.
You know that you deserve a better life. So try not to make it bad. Recognize in that moment, okay, I'm complaining because I know I'm not living the life that I want to live. But it's actually coming from a pure place. It's because I really want to share my love with people. I want to share my music. I want to share my skills. I want to do more for this world.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just that once you understand why you're doing it, what's driving you to do it, then you can stop it. And then you can start being more present with your life and understand that you're being prepared for the life that you want.
Right. Me complaining right now in this moment, what is it teaching me or what is it showing me? So it's not complaining for the sake of complaining. It's I'm complaining. What is it that I'm not seeing?
Mm-hmm. I'm not seeing that I could be kinder to myself in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing that maybe the universe has something in store for me that's going to happen in a year from now. And so just relax about it. And I even said to you yesterday, the reason why we complain is because, like, basically you wouldn't be complaining unless you were destined for greatness.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't be complaining unless there was a deep desire in your heart that's meant to happen in this life. So I do think we should try to work on not complaining and instead just being open about how we're really feeling. Because I find that when we complain, we're just in the monkey mind, we're just in that mental chatter, and we're not really letting someone into our hearts.
Right.
So what that looks like is, rather than going, my life's not going the way I wanted to, I can't stand it, I can't stand the relationship I'm in, go, I'm struggling right now, I could use a hug.
Right. It's being more aware
Yeah,
about the complaint or the situation
that's right.
instead of, like you said, the monkey mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's my first message, is stop comparing yourself to people, because you're going to drive yourself crazy. And just know that it's all going to happen for you in due time. The second message is start putting yourself first. And I'm primarily talking about friendships. I'm talking about relationships, or maybe somebody that you're dating right now. Stop dimming your light for people and know that you can ask for what you need. And if that person can't give it to you, or they're constantly avoiding having that conversation, they're constantly skirting around that issue, what does that tell you? It tells you that they're not ready to step in.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe right now you're dating somebody who's constantly avoiding answering your question in a direct way. Well, how does that make you feel? And what is that showing you about yourself? It makes you feel confused. It makes you feel like you're being misled. It makes you feel like you're not enough.
Mm-hmm.
And then what is that trying to show you? That you're disempowered. That you need to stop giving your power away to this person and go for what you personally want.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to know you're worthy of that.
That's it right there. Like as soon as you said that, go for what you want. It's a lack of worthiness, feeling like I don't deserve
Mm-hmm.
better
Yeah.
or more.
Yeah. And we do this all the time. We want someone, but we're too afraid to ask them to commit to us. So because we're hiding that part of us, we're actually not in the right relationship. You're only showing up as a version of yourself or as 3 versions of yourself. But because you're hiding how you really feel, you're only going to get that version of the other person. So you're playing hide and seek with this person.
Yeah.
Because you're not divulging how you feel and what's going on with you or asking them to give you what you want, you're going to prolong the journey of getting what you want.
Right. And you're walking on eggshells, and
Mm-hmm.
they're probably walking on eggshells because they maybe sense something's going on.
Yeah. Or maybe they're just not a committal person or they're emotionally unavailable. And maybe that's causing you to not open up and share what you're needing.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe when you do, they evade you or they shy away from having that conversation because they're just stringing you along.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we have to start recognizing that at the end of the day, you're responsible for how you feel and what you create. And if you give your power away to someone else, even to your friends, like if you feel like there's an elephant in the room with your friends and you're not having that conversation, or maybe you're dating this person and they're not answering your questions, then you have to go, I'm allowing this person to dictate how I feel today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm allowing them to choose how I feel. How is that fair to you?
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, you know how you want to feel. You know what kind of relationship you want to be in. Why aren't you giving yourself permission to have that now? There's someone out there right now who wants the exact same thing as you.
Mm-hmm.
But you're playing this like silly game with yourself, hoping that this person is going to come around, continuing to believe in their potential. And how's that working for you?
How's that working out for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really wish more people understood that your feelings are where it's at. When you tell someone how you're feeling, they let you know if they're interested or not. They let you know if they're choosing you or not. They're showing you if they're stepping in or not.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, don't be afraid to share your feelings. And don't be afraid to put yourself first. Because when you put yourself first, everything in your life starts to rearrange for you in a positive way.
Yeah.
Just the mere act of deciding, I'm not going to do this to myself anymore. I'm going to become the person that I know myself to be. I'm going to start aligning to that future version of my life that I know exists. Then everything that isn't for you, everything that's not aligned is going to start to fall away.
Mm-hmm. And the universe will conspire to make it happen.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love that word.
Yeah.
Conspire.
Yeah.
The universe will make it happen for you.
Yeah.
Because you've decided that you're responsible for how you feel. And you're not going to let someone else dictate how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I find that a lot of people are having problems with their friends right now. It's like they're hurting inside, and then they want to broach that conversation with their friend, and their friend isn't acknowledging how they're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like people are doing everything they can right now to avoid facing what other people are feeling. They don't want to address it. They're too uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And so by deciding that you're going to put yourself first and you're going to have that conversation anyway, and if that person isn't responsive, you got your answer. Walk away from them. Or if the guy that's not committing to you is still giving you an excuse, walk away from them.
Yeah.
Put yourself first.
Yeah, and wouldn't you want to know the answer now? Versus, and I've done that so many times in my life where I have prolonged the conversation. I was afraid. It's like, well, it could go this way, it could go that way. And it's just it overwhelms me. And then I have the conversation and either one, it doesn't go as badly as I thought it would,
Mm-hmm.
or two, it gives me the answer that I need and it saved me so much time, pain, suffering. Why are we waiting?
Why do you think people don't want to face that truth, or they don't want to accept the reality of what's actually happening, and they keep giving people the benefit of the doubt and holding on to the potential? Why do you feel people do that?
I think there's an element of them feeling like they're going to change. It's
Mm-hmm.
going to work the way they want it to. Also, they're they're afraid that it won't be what they want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
And so it's like they're afraid to slide into the life that they're meant to have.
right. They're not accepting the reality.
Yeah. Those are the two messages: is stop comparing yourself to others and drive yourself crazy, and then also put yourself first and trust that by doing so, the life that you ultimately envision for yourself is going to happen sooner rather than later. You just have to open up your heart to what you actually want
Mm-hmm.
and stop making that wrong. Stop making yourself feel bad for asking for commitment. Stop making yourself feel bad for wanting to have a very honest conversation with a friend that's been, I don't know, mistreating you or being less real with you. Stop being afraid,
Yeah.
and what you want will arrive a lot sooner. So I feel like I have one closing message.
Okay.
What you're going through right now is not your fault. It's not your fault. You're going through a transformation, and the body is having to align itself to who you're becoming.
Mm-hmm.
It's aligning itself to the life that is meant for you. And so in order for that life to happen, your body first has to go through some adjustments. It has to rid itself of what's not serving you any longer. It has to release attachments that are causing you to get anxious or that are sending you into a tailspin of fear. So your body is essentially getting rid of all those toxins, which can be toxic people in your life
Mm-hmm.
or things that are not working for you anymore. Or maybe it's that your body is learning how to trust again. And so it's having to acclimate to your eventual life. And so try not to beat yourself up if your body is feeling more anxious than usual, or if you're feeling more fear than usual, or if you're worrying yourself sick. Try not to make that bad. This is a very natural process that the body is undergoing so that it can clear the way for you.
Does the caterpillar transforming into the butterfly beat itself up? It's already going through a very painful, significant transformation. We can just allow it to happen. We
Yeah,
don't have to beat ourselves up while it's happening.
exactly. And as you know, the caterpillar turning to a butterfly, it's an aggressive process. It's very aggressive. So give yourself grace.
Mm-hmm.
I think of it like this: the second that you make the decision that you're going to commit to people who are emotionally available as opposed to emotionally unavailable, everything that used to be you is going to start to be released. But when that happens, it's uncomfortable because your ego's holding on. Your ego's resisting the change.
Yeah.
And so just tell yourself, it's not my fault. This is a natural occurrence. My body's going through a transformation and it's dispelling anything that isn't serving me any longer. But this is why we have to be decisive. Don't have one foot here and one foot there. Like, decide who you're going to be. Are you going to be someone that keeps dating emotionally unavailable people, Or are you going to be someone who simply doesn't do that?
Right.
Are you going to be someone who's always worried about money? Or do you want to be abundant in the future? So ask yourself these questions and pick a side. Don't keep sitting on the fence, because a lot of times sitting on the fence or waiting around for someone, all these things, that's what makes you suffer,
Mm-hmm.
is you sitting on the fence. As soon as you decide, I'm going there, then your body's going to undergo that transformation. It's going to get very uncomfortable. It's going to get turbulent, because you're moving into that next version of yourself.
Well, I think this was very helpful. I think people are going to get a lot out of this.
I'm so glad. I hope that people subscribe and that you
Yeah,
comment, leave your comments, and we'll be back with more.
that's right.